Namaskar, friends. Welcome to another edition of Secrets of Law of Attraction. This is video number 8 in the series. And today we are going to look at a very powerful law, which is a universal law of the mind. The purpose of these set of videos is very simply to empower businessmen so that they are able to realize their dreams in an easy manner, learning the deep mind sciences available in the modern world and ancient India. So the mission is to guide in manifestation through the teachings of Master Key System, which was brought about in USA in 1910, Sankhya Darshan of Kapil Muni, which was written in 3000 years back, and the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which was written about 2400 years back. They contain tremendous secrets about the working of the mind, and we will be going into them in this program. The topic for today, as I told you earlier, is what is the universal law of mind? This is a law. That means it is always true. It applies to everybody, and therefore it is universal. It is true anywhere you go, wherever there is mind. This law of mind is fully functional, fully active. And once we understand this, then we can make our life very, very simple, very easy. All our dreams and desires and goals can get easily manifested. So kindly put your full attention to whatever I'm saying in this video. And if you have any questions, kindly put them in the comment section. We have the power to freely choose whatever we think. And as a result of that thought, we get certain output, certain happenings in our life. They impact our character. That is what we are inside. They impact our health. That means they affect our body and its operation, its conditions. And they also create circumstances, conditions around us. So this law is commonly known as the law of attraction. So we are free to choose whatever we want to choose. But whatever we have chosen works under an unchangeable law. And that law says, whatever thoughts you are producing, you will produce results based on those thoughts. It will create your character, it will create your health, and will create conditions and people around you. Now, one important thing here is, if our thoughts are creating our reality, then it is very, very important that we eliminate non-constructive thoughts and put in its place constructive thoughts. Once we are able to do this, once we can replace our non-constructive thoughts with constructive ones, we will find that overall good starts happening. The results then are good for us, are good for our family, are good for our colleagues, are good for our relations, are good for everybody around us. So therefore, in order to locate an non-constructive thought, we must form a habit of analyzing our thought. We must use our mind to see and check each and every thought which is happening to us, which is getting generated from inside us. Because if a thought is there, then it creates manifestation in the world outside, which is the world of objects, which is the world of people. And if the right thoughts are put in place, it becomes beneficial for us and for all others who are getting affected by it. So it is important that we create constructive thoughts and preserve them, as they are valuable. They shape our destiny. They shape our life. They shape the quality of whatever we are doing and whatever we are seeing around us. This thought, which is there inside us, can be called constructive when it is in alignment, in tune with the infinite in us. Once it is in tune with the infinite in us, then we will find that that thought will automatically grow, will automatically develop, and will automatically produce fruit, which will be 100 times more in power, in intensity, in effect. Therefore, it is very, very important that we eliminate all such thoughts which have no definite helpful end for us. These thoughts, which are not going to help us in any way, are non-constructive thoughts. They are occupying space inside us. And because they are non-helpful, they create non-helpful circumstances in the world outside. They bring in non-helpful people into our lives. They create conditions in our body which is not helpful for us. It creates a disease in our body. Therefore, it is very important we locate a non-constructive thought, replace it with a constructive thought. Now, our thought process has to be in harmony with whom? With our deep internal thoughts, with the infinite. And once when it is in harmony with the deep inner minds, with the minds which are controlling our thought from deep inside us, then we are able to change our mental attitude to a constructive mental attitude. So let's say you have a thought which you find is not good for you, is harmful for you. Try to bring it in harmony with the bigger picture, with the bigger scale of people, with the universe. Make it a thought which benefits the maximum number of people in the maximum possible way. Then you will find, once you develop this predominant attitude, you will find all thoughts which are getting generated inside you are constructive, and they will bring magical results in your life. Imagination is a tool that gives us the constructive attitude to develop the ideas from which our future emerges. You must remember that it is our inner world which creates our outer world. So the inner thoughts create our outer physical reality. And when we are able to understand what is imagination, which is a human quality, as far as the world of science knows today, no other animal has the tool of imagination to the extent to which a human being has. It shapes our future. So imagination by itself is a constructive form of thought, and it is important that it must precede every constructive form of action. Constructive action can come only from a constructive thought. Constructive thoughts can only come when we use the power of imagination to think of a better, bigger future, not only for us, but for entire humanity, and at a smaller level to our immediate family, our friends, our relations, our workplace, and people nearby. This imagination, we need to understand what does it do. This imagination gathers materials. It gathers certain thoughts. It gathers certain brain cells in the mind. And out of those brain cells, out of those material which is constructive, our mind is able to weave the fabric. Our mind is able to create a future in which our imagination has given it a shape, given it a color, has put on the right clothes for it. So you can also say imagination is that light inside us, which when directed in the right direction, right point, right place, we can penetrate new worlds of thought and get new worlds of experience. So imagination is the only human tool which can create a future which is better, good, and powerful for us. So we need to practice imagination. We'll come to an exercise towards the end of this talk, where I will share with you a mental exercise on imagination. You may try it, and then I assure you, you will get very, very powerful, beneficial, constructive results in your life. Now, as I told you initially, these sessions are meant essentially for business people, because business people are the people who go ahead and construct new businesses, new products, new ways to satisfy consumer demand. So we offer one-to-one coaching for those people who want to use the power of the mind, the power of the spirit, the power of the body, and the science of this world, the whole creation, to create something which nobody has created before, to create at a scale which is very easy to reach to. So we have given you the WhatsApp number here and the mail ID. For those of you who are interested in personalized coaching on your business projects, business goals, you may kindly contact us. Now, listen to this statement very carefully. All the objects which are there in the material world, they are like clay in a potter's hand. And it is in our mind. It is in our mind that is the master, in which things get created first mentally. And they get created first mentally by the use of imagination. So once when you are able to create as a potter, a pot of clay in your mind first, using your imagination, then after you start working on that, the mental design becomes a physical construct in the world outside. So it is the use of imagination that gives us new ideas, new products, new services, new processes, which improves human life, which takes us to a far higher quality of existence. Now, what is not imagination? If you are daydreaming, that is not imagination. If you are fantasizing, that is not imagination. It is only a form of mental dissipation. Mental dissipation means your mental energy is dissipating itself without any constructive purpose, without creating any new product, any new service, any new solution for humanity, without taking care of what is needed outside. It is merely wasting away its energy for some fruitless work. So daydreaming and fantasizing, they usually lead to limitations in our mind. And let us look at what is constructive imagination. Constructive imagination, on the other hand, is actually mental labor, and it is hard labor. And it is the only mental labor which can give you fantastic results, great results. And people who have the ability to think and who have developed the ability to imagine can manifest their dreams. Because without imagination and without thinking, the mental work does not truly happen. And when the mental work does not truly happen, the physical work outside, the physical project outside will not get manifested. It will merely remain a dream. Now, for manifestation to happen, we need power. Say I have a plan. My mind has made up a plan. My mind has made up a design. My mind has thought about a process. But that cannot be converted into the real physical world unless and until it is energized, unless and until it is powered with energy. So in the mind, we use mind energy to manifest the plan, to manifest the process, to manifest the desire into reality. Now, when does maximum energy come in the mind? The maximum energy will flow in the mind when your mind is in harmony with the omnipotence through our thoughts. So we have to generate those kind of thoughts which connect us to the universal power within us, to the infinite power within us, and the connection happens like a pipe through our thoughts. So when this connection between the individual mind, which is us, and the higher, deeper minds, the universal mind, the cosmic mind, and the infinite mind are brought about, then the energy flow only happens when there is harmony. When there is harmony between the various minds, then only the energy from deep down, from the infinite mind, flows as spiritual energy. It enters the mind as mental energy. It activates the plan, the process, the desire into physical energy in the world outside. So now, in order to be able to access this energy, this power, which is very, very vast, very, very big, but inside us, deep inside us. So we need to place ourselves in such a position that we are able to receive this power. Now, as I told you, this power is present everywhere. It is omnipresent. So it is also present within us. Now, this omnipresent power, which is present within us, is actually sleeping. It is actually like a seed. So we have to find a way to develop that, to unfold it, to nurture it. So for being able to do that, we must be in a receptive mode. We must be in a zone of harmony. And there must be proper alignment between all these minds so that the flow of power from deep down inside us, after being developed, after being unfolded, after being nurtured, can come out and go into the world by activating our plan. Now, how does one do this whole thing? How does one develop the receptivity towards the infinite powers within us? It is developed by doing certain mental exercises. They have to be done consistently. When these exercises are done consistently over a good period of time under expert guidance and coaching, then we find that we are able to establish a link. We are able to establish a link from the spiritual mind, which is the infinite mind, into the universal mind, into the subconscious mind, into the conscious mind, and through our body, through our actions, it goes outside in the world and creates for us physically whatever we wanted to create from us, through us. This universal law of the mind is commonly known as the law of attraction. Now, this law of attraction will constantly, consistently bring to you conditions and experiences in life. But these conditions and experiences in life would be based on our habitual, predominant mental attitude. So what it means is, if once in a while, say for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you are thinking of abundance, but actually all throughout the balanced time of the day, you're not thinking of abundance, it will not happen to you. It should be your predominant mental attitude. Let's say some people go to a church, a temple, a mosque, or some other place of prayer, or they are reading a good book, an inspirational book, a motivational book, a sacred book, anticipating that their thought processes will change, then just doing it for a short period of time will not work. It is what is inside us, deeply ingrained in us as a predominant mental attitude. That alone triggers the law of attraction. And whatever thoughts are stored there in that predominant mental attitude, they produce results accordingly outside in the form of objects, in the form of our possessions, in the form of people around us, in the form of circumstances which we face outside us. You see, if you want to manifest abundance, then just by giving a few minutes of thoughts on abundance, it is not going to happen. While even though we want abundance, we have given few minutes to think about abundance, but the balance amount of time, we are thinking about shortages, scarcity, lack. So then this shortage, this scarcity, this lack will show up in your life because that is your predominant mental attitude. Therefore, we must be very careful. We must be very, very careful as to what thoughts we are constantly engaging in, what kind of people we are constantly sharing our time with, what kind of videos are we seeing, what kind of books are we reading, what kind of thoughts are we constantly immersed in. So by changing them, you will be able to change your predominant mental attitude to one of abundance, to one of courage, to one of fearlessness, to one of service to society, and then you will find all that happening in your life. So what the author is suggesting here is that you have to constantly hold onto the ideals of the conditions which you wish to realize. That means you have to constantly hold on to the imagery which you want to have as a realization in your life. You have to constantly hold on to mentally, to the people, to the conditions, to the circumstances, to the situations you want to enjoy in your life. And when you are holding it constantly, then you have to think of the next step, which will bring you closer to that situation, that circumstances. while you are doing this, we are actually transferring energy into the thought, and the thought will start materializing. So you have to remember, thoughts are the materials with which we build. And we build thoughts by putting in more energy, more attention, more concentration. And what is mind? Mind is the ever-moving force, which will keep on getting you the persons and circumstances necessary to build a successful structure inside your mind and outside in the world. And what is imagination? Imagination is your mental workshop where you can create the qualities you want, where you can create vision about the reality you want, where you can create mental conditions so that you're able to have a particular kind of predominant mental attitude. So you have to remember, imagination is that matrix in which all great things are made. And imagination is one of the rare powers which has to be used in a very constructive manner to leapfrog in your life, to jump ahead and go by big leaps and bounds to the future which you so earnestly desire. So with imagination, with this right kind of technique of energizing thoughts, with being connected to the deeper powers within, so that you have a constant flow of immense energy coming into you, activating your plans and turning them into physical reality, you will find manifestation is very easy and is a very simple science. Now, another important point here, when we are able to wrap up our ideals, our deepest, biggest desires in love and in service, and we are faithful to it, that means we are actually doing it. We are doing our work out of love, work out of a sense of service, and we are faithful to that idea. Then we put up a call to our consciousness, and the consciousness inside us, which is all powerful, which is the inner deeper mind, which is the infinite mind, which is the universal cosmic mind in us, it listens to our call and it materializes that plan ahead for us. And it also clears up our path out of all obstacles. So just by wrapping up, just by packaging, just by putting in the ingredients of love, the ingredients of service in our ideals and being faithful to it, we find our consciousness is reached, is approached by this method. And our consciousness then allows us to materialize our plans into a physical reality, and it therefore clears away all the obstacles which we have in front of us. Now, as I told you in the beginning, we will be doing an exercise, an imagination exercise. So I will just describe to you what you need to do. Listen to me carefully. If you want to take notes, you can take notes and then do this exercise. It should be done for at least 20 minutes. And if you can do it regularly, you will find an immense jump in your ability to imagine new and better things. You will find an immense jump in your creativity. You will find an immense jump in your ability to innovate things around you in your life. So friends, this battleship exercise is very simple. You have to imagine. Imagine with your eyes closed, sitting in a comfortable position. If you wish to lie down, you may even lie down. Relax your mind, keep your eyes closed, be in a room where there is no disturbance, and then imagine a battleship. Imagine a battleship which is in the sea and it has come into harbor. And you are there at the harbor looking at this battleship. It is a monster which is about 20 stories high, dark, silent, lethal, and it comes and it docks itself close to where you are. And then you find that this battleship is only visible in 1/10 of its height. The balance 9/10 of the height is under the water. It is hidden. It cannot be seen. And this battleship has thousands of crew members. There are sailors, there are officers, there are men who are specially trained for particular duties. And this battleship carries missiles to attack an enemy ship or an enemy target from miles away. It has a system of identifying these enemy ships. It has a way of pointing out the missiles towards them and firing them and hitting them and bringing them down. And this whole battleship has come from somewhere. So you look at the battleship, you find from the outside, this battleship has huge plates of steel, dark steel. And out of those dark steel sheets, the body of that battleship has been made. Now go into the reverse, go back in time, and imagine where these iron sheets, iron plates, steel sheets, steel plates would have been made. See yourself in a factory, in an iron and steel factory where they are being produced. See hot iron being molted and converted into these solid steel sheets, solid steel plates. And then go back further. Take your mind further back in time and see the trucks and the lorries in which iron ore is coming into that steel factory. And then go further back. See the iron ore mines from where these trucks are transporting the iron ore. And look at those iron ore mines and look back in time when these iron ore mines were discovered for the first time. Could be 200 years back, 300 years back, 500 years back. Then go back further in time and see how did this iron ore come here in the first place? Why don't we have iron ore all over the planet? Why do we have iron ore mines in particular areas? So try to figure out and see what is it that caused iron ore to get collected at certain places on our planet. And then take another view now. This battleship, which is there in front of you, which is looking sinister, which is looking dark, has been made, has been constructed somewhere. So now visit the dockyard where this battleship got manufactured. See how the various components of this battleship are coming in and are getting assembled one by one. The entire body of the battleship, the electrical wiring inside the battleship, the motors and its running, the quarters for the sailors to stay, the control section from where one can monitor the entire neighboring areas and spot enemy ships, that their kitchen where food is prepared, their dining area, the engine room, and all that which is important. So you will find a lot of systems have gone into place. There would be thousands and thousands of items which have gone into creating this battleship. Now go further back in another direction. This battleship which has been made must have needed money. So where did that money come from? If this battleship is of the Indian government, then the Indian government must have allocated funds for this battleship. Those funds must have been approved by Parliament. So go into Parliament, see the finance minister presenting the estimates for various defense equipment and including this battleship. And then see the funds were allocated probably 5 years back. And that time too, there was no war. There was no situation like war. But even then, in a peacetime, the government of that country decided to have a battleship. Then that means before that, before the finance minister is presenting the budget, there is another event which has happened, or series of events, where somebody has evaluated the defense requirements of the country, and they have assessed as to how many battleships do we need, how many do we have, what kind of battleship is required, with what features, what speed, how many people to man it, which all parts of the sea will it travel, what will be the design of that ship, how much will it cost. So based on that cost estimates, a budgetary allocation has been requested for. And that is when the finance minister presented it in the parliament. And imagine and see the leaders of the opposition or members of the opposition standing up and debating over it and saying, no, we need so many battleships. Why are we turning into a military might country? We believe in peace. And then come back to the docks again, see that the ship is ready and it is being put inside water. And this huge mammoth ship weighing thousands of tons is actually floating in the water. So what makes it float in the water? So there was some scientist who found out that there's a law on floating. And based on that law, the ships and boats were actually being created. And the entire shipping industry around the world is operating based on that simple principle, law of flotation. So you see, there is a big magnitude behind what you see physically in front of you. So this exercise will open up your mind, give you the power of imagination, give you the power to go back in time, will give you the power to go ahead in time. And once you do it regularly, once the brain cells have developed, you have the proper patterns and the networks in place, you will have the power to imagine. And you can imagine a far better future for yourself. You can imagine a far better future for your family. You can imagine a far better future for your entire nation. You can even imagine bigger and think of something good, something big, something beneficial for entire humanity. So dear friends, this is the power of imagination. And imagination brings into action the law of attraction. And then the law of attraction, if it is predominant thought, then that predominant thought automatically attracts people, conditions, and objects to make it real. So simply follow these basic principles and you will find magic and miracles happening in your life. If you need our help, we are always there to help you. We run these special sessions for business people and even some corporate executives who want to aspire big, who have ambitious goals. So if you are an aspiring business person or you are an ambitious career-oriented corporate executive, if you wish to learn more, if you wish to get one-to-one coaching, you are free to contact us and we will ensure that you are able to realize your dreams and goals the easy way using the laws of this universe. So with that, I come to end of today's session. Thank you so much. If you have found this information interesting and of value to you, and if you think it'll help you grow your business, advance in your career, then please do like this and please do share with like-minded people whom you think will benefit out of this. If we can send this kind of information to maximum number of people for their maximum good, then you will find you are easily connected to the deep powers inside you, the divinity inside you, the universal mind and the infinite mind inside you, and that power, that energy, that grace will flow through you, will energize all your plans and take your life to the highest level possible in a very easy and automatic manner. Thank you so much. May God bless you.